Alqubit, IT, as an expression of art.
Okay, listen. Yeah. Fired up, but we move like water. They know me as the crazy one. Eyes don't lie, lyrics turn into slaughter. Anything can happen, don't make me one. Oh, would you take a look at that when they know what they lost and they're trying to get it back? But the energy's mad, I'm not trying to deal with that. Just shut down the police and that. Shut down the police and rap. Rap is knowledge and knowledge is rap. Acknowledge the best in the facts. Acknowledging that we all got our own way, I'm honoring that. Sit back, chill and relax. Know your reason, keep on track. And I'm counting blessings, I'm counting that. It's up to you, had to look at all that.
Hello world. Welcome back. Today I am realizing a year of project of great creativity and absolute success. Anamorphic look. CinemaScope 2.40 by 1. And the best thing is that it is multicam. CinemaScope. It's been very challenging for the last few days. I haven't slept even tonight of the excitement. It's been very interesting. Let me move something here. It's been exceptionally exciting that today I have set everything and it works. What is the setup and the workflow? It is two cameras, Sony. I am ending both cameras inside my Atem Mini, and it has this thing. This is the multi-view, and it is squeezed because it is actually desqueezed, but squeezed vertically because I'm desqueezing the normal 1080p, and this is the result basically, and it is very, very, very interesting. Let me just warm up a little bit because not sleeping is you feel it. So it is absolutely the killer. What I'm using, let me, with all the preparation, I haven't tested my emulation. In fact, it doesn't work. Let me enable it. Okay. I'm doing too much thing, too complicated. What is this? Let me tell you. Okay. I'm using OBS. What is the absolute engineering top of the top that I have optimized multi-parametrically all the systems together in order to obtain this functional system. And it is absolutely, I will show as I have shown other days. I have absolutely reached the total majesty of OBS. P010 is 10-bit. You cannot obtain 422. You can obtain 422, 420 from OBS, at least you have to try with the last black something of the NVIDIA. They are capable to do it, but I don't know if OBS is capable to support. Rec 709 limited end-to-end everywhere. Video is my canvas is 1080p, and I am upscaling in 4K Ultra HD. What is the very interesting thing that let me see how I can do it to show both things, because it is switching this way. I'm having my source of ATEM Mini via SDI or HDMI. It doesn't change basically. It is better signal with SDI obviously, but with HDMI is the same. I'm getting it in 1080p 25 frames per second, and it is squeezed, as you can see. Inside my canvas, I'm having this thing here that I will need to swap again, and I cannot show you unfortunately because it doesn't permit. I basically, for the decklink source, I have done a transformation squeezing the vertical, the height from 1080 to 800, and it basically is compressing vertically because I want to maintain all the proportions of the entire of the result of the sum of all the signals. And this is how it's done. Basically, the canvas behind the black here, it's natural because it is the proportion of the, it is not cut up and down. It is exactly the proportion of how the image is with 2.40 by 1, the CinemaScope. But I have seen that when I am exporting without explicitly enable those spaces up and down. Let me switch here. Those spaces up and down, it is switching. It is showing transparent if you do, for example, do screenshot from OBS. So I set to confirm the black. I set the background behind everything black, but those lines are absolutely correct. They're not forced. They're not cut of the image. The image is integral with all its integrity and proportions. And it is exactly 240 by 1 CinemaScope, the last versions, or 238, but I have seen that this cycle is not exactly cycle. It is in this way. There is still, because the lenses, not super precise. What is? And here is more round. The proportion is the same from. They're changing the squeezing factor a little bit based upon the focus, if you are focusing near or far away. And this is I initially have done 2.39, but it is better consistency, and the representation I like it much more in 2.40. And for those two lenses, much better. They are real anamorphic lens. You can see the flares, absolutely gorgeous. With the Venus series that I've had in November to test, were more prominent and somehow better. Venus is much higher quality. Those lenses 50 and 75 are the first generation of Sirui anamorphic lenses, and they're kind of as they have grown with awareness and perception of how to improve the product, they have done good work. But the first model, I think, was the 50, and it is completely different lens. It is more related to night workers' color profile, and all four lenses are inconsistent because it is first generation. Basically, it is the first attempt to produce high level. They are very budget lenses, but the effect that I'm obtaining is totally satisfactory for me. And this is what I wanted to do, actually, to do a real proof of concept and to adopt in my live production, actually, that I will do from now forward. Anamorphic real-time desqueezing with a very nice look, anamorphic look. And I have done a lot of fine-tunings the last couple of days, exceptionally for the lenses and color profile. I'm using my super personalized color profile that is Cine 2 with super personalized level of shadows, highlights and everything, and it is pro color profile. And I really like it how it is consistent in everything, but those lenses are challenging because the Night Worker series that I had for the last 2 years are excellent, absolutely super consistent, everything. The color, even when I was forcing to set manual white balance with the how it's called, the card, with the gray card, it was exactly, my lighting is 2700 Kelvin. Everything, every light that is not RGB is 27. And my white balance has always been with the Night Workers at the same value, 2700 Kelvin. and it works one-to-one. They are absolutely super calibrated, super consistent. I've had all of them. I bought them 2 years ago. 60 millimeters, 24, 25, 35, 50, 75. And they are excellent. The 16 and 75 are absolutely super duper excellent optical. They are clinical, sharp enough. They are cine lenses, manual, very contrasty, very good. I like those. And I've had in November the Venus that is full frame. And the Venus has a color shift, very strong color shift of at least 200 Kelvin warmer. And the last lens that they have produced, 75 millimeters, that is exactly this, has the same properties as it is the first version of the Venus. It is exactly the same shift of 200-250 Kelvin, and it is stated f1.8, but it is not true. It is more related to the Venus. That Venus is T2.9. This is, at least if we compare to T, based on my settings, I'm usually with night workers. I'm always using ISO 100. White balance 2700. One-to-one, everything works perfectly. The Venus, I had to, with the T.9 against night worker is starting from T1.2, but I'm using it always at the T1.4 because too much light, I cannot. And they're always sharp. And now, those are f1.8. They are at least not less than T2 in comparison, even more. There are at least the 75 millimeters is at least something like T2 and more, T2.2 or whatever. And they are 50 millimeters. I'm with ISO 200. In order to have the same light, I'm having 25 frames per second, both cameras. 25. Shutter speed 150. Because it needs to be double, 150 at 180 degrees naturally. And I had struggled a little bit to fine tune the color profile, and the white balance is going manually till 2500. And I was kind of struggling. The 50 millimeters, let me see if the 50 millimeters is brighter. It is with the technology that has been done with the night worker. Brighter. Colors are poor. Many are saying that is blue. It is not blue. Yes, it is colorized for the flares, but it is not blue, it is basically warmer than night worker. And today I have, after back and forth, I set it in 1 second with my gray card, 18% gray card. I just put it here and set the specific fine-tuned value of white balance, and everything began to work with absolutely the same color profile. Everything is perfect, and it is below 2500 that it doesn't appear, just showing that it is lower than. So it is basically almost 300 Kelvin warmer than usual that it should be. They have a little bit distortions, but in live production for video, you cannot see any aberration in anything. It is super duper. They are sharp more than enough for my scope, and it is even better because it is giving this look, and they're perfect. So I have set. My shadows are normally higher with one value. I have lowered it to have this more sci-fi contrasty image, and they're both not too much. 75 is easier to produce flares, but they're not too much. But Venus has much better quality of any point of view, absolutely, end to end, and flares are done much better. They are with better quality. They are somehow designed better. Those are stripes. The other is starting after that with and Venus is much better. Full frame, they are much, and I've had a fortune to find it at 1/3 of the value new. But even though they are budget, I got it super duper budget. The Venus is, on budget is around 500 euros, more or less. But they are very heavy, at least kilo and half, almost. Those are half a kilo, each of them. And they are very good, very consistent. But this first generation, every lens is basically a different lens. They have tested, somehow have grown with this, with those lenses in order to produce, starting with high level quality and everything. And it needs to be calibrated at different points. ISO, aperture. The aperture I have done it at f2 on both of them. ISO 200 on the 50 millimeters, and ISO 250 and 75, because it is higher. It is around T.25. This is less. T2 in relations. I have fine-tuned absolutely. I like to do this. You see my face, guys, is transitioning because I have set geometrically the lenses to converge, and it is not elaboration, it is only optical effect for the space. You can see that the lenses are completely different. It changes completely the position, the scene and everything, but the face is switching very good. And this with the Desqueeze and anamorphic is something beyond excellent. But I like it beyond any limit. This. And I have fine-tuned it in an excellent way, I can say. Let me see if I can open this. Yes. I have written here something that just to keep my thought organized. Yes, it is challenging. I haven't seen anyone to do it, and I'm doing it in real time. I don't have any issue. I don't have any delay. You see, it's been almost half an hour. I don't have even one frame missed, even one skipped frame. I don't have any issue. Everything is beyond excellent. And what I have forced yesterday, I have fine-tuned, tested inside DaVinci Resolve, back and forth and everything, is to force H.265 that I'm basically encoding once, but it is splitting into different things. One is at only 5,000 kilobits per second, and the other is starting from around I have no idea why it is so low, but probably it is adjusting. The other I have set 150 megabits to 200 megabits, and it is variable, obviously, based on the image complexity. It is permitted to go till 200. It is, I've been impressed, really super duper positively impressed with the quality that is obtaining with H.265 with higher. It is around 25 at its maximum, around 25 megabytes per second, and it is inside DaVinci Resolve. Everything I can absolutely, it is like a butter. I don't have any issue with H.265, but the quality and all the details is something that is absolutely excellent. It is basically as a raw recording, obviously super compressed at least 30 times the respect of the raw, but at this level it is how many times? It is more than double of HyperDeck High, and it is in H.265, not H.26. So it is double, but it is another double, basically 4 times better. And I have obtained this. What I have said, that the output in my recording, you see the bitrate, starting bitrate is 150 megabits per second, and the maximum is 200 megabits per second, but it is obviously is going even lower because the image is static, basically, for the good part. It is compressing. but I have done this thing. The other thing yesterday, and I have published on at a mini group on Facebook, that I have discovered that Decklink plugin inside OBS at 1080p is transmitting in RGB full level, and I am having the excellent panels, excellent monitors, LG, for around 220 euros each of them. But with budget monitors for computers, what is the issue? That the best quality color quality that you can obtain with those monitors, they are calibrated very consistent in the from the producer, and all those monitors, they have a matrix inside that everything is converted into RGB full, every time, everywhere, always, whatever you and I'm transmitting with broadcast level video signal that is limited. You've limited, and yesterday has been discovered because it's been a while that I noticed that when I am forcing 4K, it changes, and it was shifting in Milky Way to show me the image, and this is what I have discovered, that it is shifting completely the levels or crashing the blacks. And those monitors, those are exceptionally very high quality. I have obtained something like Delta E very low, around 1, with very fine tuning. But at the end, after investing a couple of months, endless 30 rounds of calibration and everything, at the end, for live production, and the easiest way and more consistent way to use them is to put them at the larger color space and calibrate around this color space. Even though the built-in color spaces don't have possibility of the personalization, it's better because they are converting always in RGB full at the end. And those matrix, let me pronounce it better, matrix, that they have the integrated preset values are the better that can work. And I have discovered because I'm using NVIDIA for this monitor in front of me, and I have the other, they are basically the same, but different generations. And this one is much better, but it has P3 instead of Rec 709. And when it is in RGB full, it doesn't distort the colors if you stream and calibrate with RGB by default full. Instead, if you use UV with those budget monitors, it is distorting. It is a nightmare to calibrate them because they are producing artifacts inside the colors because their matrices are limited. And I have discovered that in OBS, the native plugin of the Blackmagic is behaving strangely at 1080p, 25 frames per second. Is streaming. I have done double, triple validation inside DaVinci Resolve with another capture card, and I have absolutely saying this with absolute certainty that at 1080p with my Intensity Pro, the signal at 1080p is full RGB, and with 4K is normal, how it is expected to be. You've 10-bit, even this one is 10-bit, but with RGB full, and the other is how it is expected. You've 10-bit limited, and Intensity Pro is behaving correctly inside DaVinci Resolve. With obviously, if you set full, it shows full. If you set limited, it shows limited. But you have to correct if it is not set automatically inside those monitors, that they are usually adapting. And I was even when I was with all the cycles of calibration with those monitors, I was wondering why it is forcing me full when I have limited, and though it is by those inconsistency of how it is transmitting. And something to keep in mind. You see, I am at 36 minutes. I don't have even one frame missed, even one skipped frame. No caching. I have ridiculous bandwidth in output, uploading of 5,000 kilobits per second. I have calibrated. It is not fortune. It is not because OBS works better than Atem Mini. Atem Mini is more reliable in respect of the streaming because it preserves the frames. Instead, OBS is throwing away the frames and restarts by missing an entire piece. And I have set it now that in the last 3 months my line became even lower throughput of what it was. It was 5,600. Now it's the maximum is 5,100 to be reliable, and not always. The recording is this thing, and it is beyond excellent. The result is gorgeous. Let me show here. I'm using this media info that is saying exactly how the properties of the recording. Chroma subsampling 420, obviously because OBS can do only this way with NVIDIA because it is hardware encoding. 10-bit, and I am streaming in very high level, and the audio is the best you can obtain. And what other? Desqueezing and everything, and I'm doing this. No latency. I have when you do this is important thing. When you force here higher throughput on the recording or live stream, it is multi-parametric dynamic system. It is not one thing that you set and it goes. Based on the changes you are applying, you need to adjust the system to keep it constantly dynamically consistent and stable. So you need to fine-tune diverse parameters, aspects. And when I have forced the much higher throughput for my recording. The audio was the image was obviously taking much more, few frames more to adjust, to define. And so I had from at the beginning that I've had only 0 frames to correct, and it was perfect. After that I had to do 2 frames, and with the 4K yesterday or the other day. Now with this speed that I have required till 200 megabits per second, not megabytes, megabits per second, I need to correct 4 frames, and it is mathematic precision. I'm doing here this test, doing for 15 seconds, immediately reopening inside DaVinci Resolve, and I'm absolutely analyzing, this is necessary to correct and delay the audio, because it is acting in anticipation, because the computational necessity for the video is higher. And with all these things that I'm generating, recording very high speed, very high quality, I'm with output in decklink, I'm at 7.4 milliseconds of average time to render frame. Basically nothing. Let me open the NVIDIA that I didn't open it today, to show you that it is basically sleeping. I have 2, with only 1 it is going into caching. With 2, they are absolutely, I have beyond fine-tuned. They act in a consistent way, never goes into crash, never goes into cache, never goes into skip and frame, and they are absolutely in coherent equilibrium. And think, here I needed to add, my frame is 40 milliseconds, I had to add 4 frames precisely. And for the computational necessity of the DaVinci Resolve by itself, it needs around 3 milliseconds, and this you cannot correct. There is absolutely micro shift, but it is not feasible. If you move with another frame, it will overdo. If you go back, it will be in anticipation. So this is the only 3 milliseconds that is not perceptible, not visible. It can only inside DaVinci Resolve with my DaVinci Resolve speed editor. I'm going back and forth, and I can analyze that there are internal computational necessity of DaVinci Resolve, probably, of the audio. But I have fine-tuned it beyond any limits. I'm beyond the perfection here. And this is good. This is absolutely maximum quality that you can obtain with. I have everything manual. I don't do from 2 years forward. For the last 2 years, aperture autofocus doesn't exist. I don't have any lens that has autofocus. White balance, everything. It is manual. I'm doing every little thing super precise, with intent, and this is why my both cameras are with this consistency that is beyond excellent, with two lenses that are not native consistent. They are the same anamorphic first generation, but they are very different one from another. But I know what I'm doing and I'm adjusting. And the more reliable color format for OBS with my NVIDIA, I have found that P010, not I010, because this permits that you can record and live stream in 10 bit. If you push it too much, that NVIDIA, at least it is Blackware or what it is, that support exactly the hardware level 422, you can force it. Otherwise, it's automatically goes into 8-bit, not 10-bit, 8-bit. If it is not feasible, it goes backward. So I have optimized track limited here. As I said, the output, the NVIDIA, it is hardware encoding both things. Here you need to, if you upscaling, you need to force, even if your canvas is 4K, the other day I have said, the system OBS is much stable, doesn't do any caching if you force the upscaling anyway. Otherwise it is from time to time going crazy in caching. With this, never cache. And it is almost at the maximum level of the profile. The last one is P7, that is lowest, best quality, but it is not needed. Here I have ultra high quality, not needed. What was full resolution 2 passes, this was provoking me from time to time memory caching, and I have said both, they are both consistent in the same way, both recording and streaming, they're absolutely the same. Only the variable starting point and the maximum point of the throughput is different. Everything else is consistent and identical. In this way, the system is encoding once and streaming, and basically separating the stream with lower quality and the other. And everything is beyond excellent. Let me see if I can see. I have done here. You can see I have found the both scenes the same source, but here I have done much more elaborated movement in order to show it at this. I have adapted heavily. It is, but only to see how the transformation is done. Initially, you adjust the resolution and doing at the center with 9020 and 800 in order to have this compression, in order to return the proportion with the starting point of the same resolution, in order to obtain 16:9 2.40 by 1. This is why. And after that you adjust left, right, and so on. This is how it's done. and it is the best signal. Absolutely everything fine-tuned, absolutely everything is super beyond color calibrated. Yesterday I have again color calibrated my films monitor, this monitor, and I can after what I have been for basically 2 years, I basically can adjust. I don't need the fine super precise levels. I want to have them in consistent realistic way, and I'm doing, instead of doing 3 cycles of this monitor, 3 cycles of at least 3-4 hours each of them, exceptionally this, never do color calibration. This has taken me months. One procedure is at least 8 hours because it is too slow. Manually, my whatever craft you are doing, you are acquiring intuitive vision and perception. In every art and you develop all the senses. I can perceive difference in colors that is absolutely tremendous. I have fine-tuned after having done for months and months and months color calibration. I have adjusted to the level that I need, really consistent, really precise, what I need for my live production, not at 100 nits, because with all those lights you cannot see anything. It is not feasible to do. You need broadcast level production monitors. I have 3. One that I am operating here as a workstation, and that I am streaming it inside, injecting it inside the basically inside HPE with the same resolution, 1080p and everything. It is very good engineering. It was a pleasure to think, to do, to optimize. And you can see that this is enterprise rack server, very noisy. HPE 380G9 rack, 2 processors, a lot of memory. Partially the memory is one bank is dead, so it is less because it disabled a couple of them, but it has a lot of memory. And my live streaming is super optimized. I don't have I have done at least 5 videos of how to optimize the live streaming, and it is done in that way. Whatever it is, if it is HPE or OBS, it works in the same way. The slice of the available bandwidth, the minimum, the maximum, you can never go beyond the maximum, and the minimum needs to be lower enough in order to support inconsistency, but higher enough, because if you set the lower too low, it doesn't push to the maximum, it stays at the lower level, more probably, exceptionally with OBS. And I have set in OBS, in order to reproduce the same behavior as in HPE, I like the HPE more. It is manual, as those manual lenses, you have to optimize it manually, and it preserves the streaming, keeping into the cache everything without throwing away. enable network optimization and dynamically change bitrate to manage congestions. This is what Atem Mini has by default, and this is in beta for the last 2 years. It's been in beta. Atem has these properties, and with the 6 slices that you have based on the settings of the level, lower, medium, high streaming or hyperdeck, the minimum is 25 frames per second, 24, 25 frames per second. The maximum is 60. I'm using, I like very much 25, and it is much less occupation of any kind of space and everything. There is no need. I'm even thinking to, but it doesn't push to the maximum, even stays much lower. So it is good. Because when you produce a video that is a couple of hours at 200 kilobits per second, 200 megabits per second, it generates something like 90 gig per hour, even though it is H.265. You do live production, whatever, you need space, and space is costly. So you need to fine tune based on and this is with the image live production masterclass, real-time anamorphic. It works beyond excellence. It works every time. It works holistically. No. Today I have switched the other with the preview. This is the first time that I'm using. I'm still. But if you set the things manually at the optical level to fine tune, to adjust the pointer of the, you obtain this thing. That it is as it is. There is elaboration, and there is no elaboration. This is art. You basically shift the image completely, the everything, and my face is the same, absolutely the same, the level, because I have adjusted with XY, absolutely precise at the micron. Where am I in both images? And you are adjusting, you starting with the desqueezing factor that needs to be precise, everything. You need to have the same squeezing factor with both or multiple lenses. Let's say I can even have 3 cameras. They will be the same, but I will need to have the same 1.33 on all the cameras in order to have only on the output what I'm using, only on the output of Atem Mini SDI inside OBS, and I'm desqueezing with the same proportion, and it works. It is native, and you cannot see that it's not done in post-production. I love DaVinci Resolve. I'm using it everything different than color, but I don't like to do post-production. It is, you lose days, months to upload. I don't do anything of that. I'm doing my colors profile perfect, that I don't need to color calibrate and shift anything. I'm doing my sound perfect, that I don't need to post-product anything, noise reduction and anything. And this, that I don't need to desqueeze in post-production. I'm doing in real time without any issue. at any level, that I don't need to have, let me think how I need to, that I don't need to do anything more, but done the live production, it is done forever, and I am switching in real time here and there. I am emulating my super source because I don't have anymore my extreme, and so I'm had to invent inside OBS. I have recreated at the same proportion, the same background image that I have used inside with the same places, and it works. And see, I'm at 1 hour, I don't have even one missed frames or skipped frames or whatever issues during the recording locally and the streaming. This is calibration. This is engineering and art together at the maximum level. It is pleasure to showing it off. And what I was saying, video desqueezing with very high quality, audio delay correction, that you need to induce the delay because the audio is anticipating the video. And this is everything basically. If I have forgotten something in the next days and it is important, I will produce a brief video, but let's admire this thing, that it is really a thing. Really a thing. The 75, it depends. I think that 75, given the fact that it is, I have Atemini is going crazy from time to time with this, staying in the middle. The 50 millimeters I have at 2 meters and 20 centimeters from me here. The other 75 is at 3 meters and 30 centimeters. And I'm facing much more light from much higher distance. Probably this is the reason that the flares and it is more prominent. And the Venus is not this strip. The Venus is done better. But I basically paid 170 euros both of them, one and one, when at the beginning they were something like 700 euros. And I'm doing my work that I need to do beyond excellent. I can fine tune it. They are not the best of the best, they are the best of the budget. But my knowledge and my capacity to fine tune and optimize, I can overcome the limitations, and basically you see a beautiful image and everything is working at the best of the best. Okay, thank you very much. I will end here. It's been very, I had so much fun with this. As when I was a child that I was inventing things, I was doing a projector with everything. I have done a lot of things, electrical and art. I was constantly designing And this has been the discovery on this part that I've had a real pleasure, that it is intellectual pleasure of art expression, because IT as an expression of art. My IT, structured IT, is structured art that is together with knowledge, intuition, and methodology, and it is done in the same way as I'm doing whatever art I'm doing. And it is really satisfaction to do it. Thank you very much. A little more than an hour, 1 hour and 6 minutes. We'll see soon again with other anamorphic. This presumably will become my default way of doing live production. I could even get rid of the primary spheric lenses. I have no idea, because those are good compromise, and I have invested what I haven't been able to invest given the circumstances, but I have done it, and it is absolute top of the top result, mega result. I hope that for the community, broadcast community, it's helpful. I'm sure I'm pioneering in this thing. With my background of system optimization, I can be able to integrate and have consistent performance, zero issues, zero latency, as it is regular live production or done in post-production. You cannot see, you cannot basically perceive the difference, because it is perfect. Thank you very much. We see soon again to the next one. I will set here the image. It's too many places. It basically kills you. With this image, I was supposed to enable the studio mode, enable the image, and doing this thing. But it is so fragmented, my workflow, that it is impossible. That's why it's better to have the Atom Mini or whatever extreme and doing that. Thank you very much. With the music, I'm ending here. Bye.